dialogues. I'm going to dispense with all the formalities because I'm really excited to talk to this guy who I feel like I've known him forever because we have that rascal Anthony Fontana in common. But actually, Sifu Phil Cruz and I we've not met live. I don't even think we've never spoken before, have we?
I actually maybe I spoke to you maybe 15 years ago. It was during a Gruden seminar, and there was you did a Gruden actually do a demonstration of Sombrada, and it was amazing. Like the movement, the way everything looked, and everybody clapped afterwards. And then afterwards, I walked up and said, I just said, Sifu Woods, that was amazing, to see. Thank you so much. And you said, we just kind of like that was the first meeting. Maybe a bit over 15 years ago. I know it was in Princeton University.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
yeah, that was a while.
So it might have been more than 15 years ago. Maybe even. Could have been like 18 years ago. I know it was a long time ago.
So at that time, what was your status then? Where were you? Because I know a little bit about your timeline, but back then, what would have been your status? Were you teaching already? Were you just a student? What?
I was teaching already. I was teaching. I started off teaching pretty young. I think around like 16 or 17.
Okay.
I started with my first small classes. I think I had my first class was on a Saturday, and that was like my first class I was given. And I was at the time I was teaching. I started teaching.
Wow. I gotta ask you this because you're a pretty big guy, and I was thinking about this earlier today. So you have to be honest with me. In high school, right? Were you the bully or were you bullied?
I was definitely bullied a lot. I was definitely picked on a lot. I grew up in because I grew up in a very rough neighborhood. I grew up in the South Bronx.
Okay.
And I went to probably one of the worst schools in the South Bronx as well. I remember being in fifth grade. And I remember they were talking about my high school in fifth grade. They were like, "Oh man, another stabbing in that school." And I remember in fifth grade, I was saying, "I'll never be there." And then ninth grade came, and I was like, "Darn, I messed up somewhere," because I ended up in a high school. So it's pretty rough. It was a rough neighborhood. It was South Bronx. It was the 90s.
Yeah.
So I definitely got picked on a lot. I definitely got roughed up a lot, beat up a lot, and robbed a lot. It was just part of growing up in that area.
Oh. Okay. All right. Yeah, because I was as I was prepping, so I was doing some research on how to be a good podcast interviewer.
Right? Okay.
So they said, well, one of the ways to connect with your guest, is to ask them about school life and what have you. And I was just thinking, but okay. So to be honest with you, I knew what your answer was going to be. Because here's the thing, because you're a big guy, but you're one of those, when you look up Gentle Giant, your picture is right there.
That's what I hear. I've been called a Care Bear. I've been called, all these, teddy bear and all the other things. I'm not a big fan of. I'm very big into like caring for people and stuff like that.
Yeah, that shows in a number that from like when I watch your video of you, for example. One of the first things I watched recently was your virtual classes, right? Like your Zoom class and what have you. As a matter of fact, we're doing on Zoom. I was like, wait, how the heck do you get everybody on the screen at the same time? And I've been using Zoom for years, but I've been using Zoom one-on-one.
Oh, okay.
So I actually had to, I saw what you were doing. I was like, wait, how do you do that? And then I discovered, the little gallery view and what have you. So I learned from my juniors. and I'm actually, sometimes I'm like that rascal, like, I'm in awe of you younger JKD guys, because you came in during, you know, like the technology. You guys are not afraid of the technology at all.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean,
go ahead.
No, I was like, it's. I think I know for myself, like, now technology is a little bit scary, because now every time you everything is technology now. Like, every time you speak, there's a phone that pops up.
All right, that's interesting. That's a first. But can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I hear you. I was getting some messages from students saying they couldn't log on to see us.
Okay, let me check Facebook now and see.
I have my girlfriend checking too on her phone to double check.
Yeah, check. Yeah, can you ask her what she's seeing? Because I thought it was weird that nobody was commenting. You know, with that never happens.
Yeah, I was got some messages. Yeah, she's on the phone now. She says that we're still not on.
We're still not live?
No, we're still not live. And I got messages from a couple of the students saying that they couldn't see us and they were having trouble seeing us as well. And it says you're not live.
That doesn't make it. That doesn't. Well, so what's his name? Dean Franco.
Mm-hmm.
He asked me yesterday if I had any trouble with Be Live, and when I was on by myself on Wednesday, I didn't have any trouble at all. So,
I mean,
somehow
it could be. It's a lot of people using it now since everybody's stuck at home.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Everybody has their Friday night cocktails with their friends, and everybody's on Zoom having their cocktails with their friends and family.
Right. Okay. All right. I see you now on Facebook.
You see me, my love?
So see if anything's happening now.
I know my girlfriend's on Facebook now. She can't see us.
This is ridiculous. Okay. Hold on a second.
Okay.
All right. Give me 1 sec.
No problem.
Yeah, you can go live directly on Facebook. Why don't you both go live? Oh, you can't tell somebody.
All right. Ask her to check now.
Wait, what do you check now? See? Okay, it's checking now.
Oh, there he goes. Wait, talk.
All right. Ask her to check now.
All right,
Yeah, I think you guys are on now.
Do we on now? Is it moving?
Yeah, it's a little delayed, but I think that's what happens.
Yeah, that happens.
Okay, so I think we're up now.
Okay, so she can see us now.
Yeah, she can see it.
All right. Okay.
We're
cool.
on now.
Cool.
All
All right.
Everybody knows in case.
Yeah.
So then that means that the previous 15 minutes was just warm up. Now,
That's good.
Yeah.
I was freaking out. So now
Right. Now the real lesson. Now the real lesson begins. That was just the warm up. And talking about warm up, I saw you doing a double stick thing, and I'm watching you do this stuff, and then all of a sudden you do this jump spin thing, and I'm like, hello.
That's one of my Kung Fu Panda special moves. You know, just every once in a while, get a little spin going. You know.
Right. Oh man. All right. So ask her if she would comment so that I can just see something here, because I'm still not getting anybody saying hello, and that's a little bit worrying.
You coming for us? She's coming for us.
Okay. All right. There we go. There we go. All right.
Okay.
Hector Avila is here, and that's Alessia, right?
Yeah, that's my girlfriend.
Okay. All right. Well, tell her thanks very much for all the help. You know, a technophobe like me needs all the help. You know, even though I've been doing this for what, 3 years now, someday I'll get it right. You know. So talking about someday, back in the day, right? 20 years ago, is this what you envision yourself doing? Running your own place and I mean, like full time and what have you?
I think it's I mean, anybody who has ever known me since I was 5 always knew I had a love for martial arts. I had a love for Bruce Lee. You know, everybody had the heroes. Everybody had, like, you know, Spider-Man. Everybody had it, and I was there with Bruce Lee. That was my hero. You know, so since that time period, I always loved martial arts. And then when I started training, I think when I started training Jeet Kune Do at 15. You know, again, it was just a passion that I kept pursuing, and then eventually it became to a point to where I was able to, you know, start sustaining myself through martial arts, which became a beautiful thing. When I was 15, you know, you're 15 years old. You only need much, you know, a couple dollars for, you know, some snacks here and there, you know. So it's you know, it was good enough for me to get on the train, to get my snacks, go out, hang out with my friends once in a while. So it was enough to do what I love and still train martial arts, and at the same time support myself. And then when I became 18, I finished high school. I made it. I finished high school, and I had my son at 18, and that's when things got a little more difficult, because now I was like, okay, you know, can I take it to that level? Can I take it to that level to where I can support me and my son, my family at the time? You know, and then luckily, you know, whatever was in place, I was able to do it. I was able to keep going. Then at 19, I had my daughter, and then it became another challenge. But for whatever reason, whenever I thought, man, is this the right thing to do? You know, you have those days where you question yourself, like, am I doing the right thing? Is this the right thing? You know, and whenever I question myself, something popped up that helped me keep going. You know, an opportunity popped up to help me keep going, and that's the way it's been from the beginning to now. You know, even having you and me now, I was in that point in my life. I was like, am I still doing the right thing? And then the next opportunity popped up to keep me going on this path. You know, so I always love martial arts, and this is a place I always envisioned that I wanted to be. You know, be in this position, and I'm very, very lucky and fortunate that I'm here, and I am very appreciative of being where I'm at.
Right. Well, see, I think that a story like that and a background like that is actually crucial to success. You know, there's got to be something that it's like people say, okay, why do you wake up in the morning and do what you do? You know what I mean? There's got to be a good reason for it.
Yeah.
And I was talking to one of my earliest guests on the dialogues was my friend Harley Elmore, and I asked him about it, and he goes, "Well, I was born to do this." You know, and I was like, "Yeah." I go, "That's an interesting because do you know how to do anything else?"
I mean, I went to school. I went to college and got a 2-year degree in criminal justice.
Right. Yeah.
But that was more kind of like I was like, just in case, you know, just in case it doesn't work out, you know, I still have to support my children. Let me have a backup plan. But, you know, my whole life, all I've done to support myself has been martial arts. This is all I've done my whole life.
The degree thing, was that like pressure from like your parents and what have you?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely from, you know, my father. I mean, my parents have always been supportive, but my father
Yeah.
was always the logical one. Like, you know, you never know if this martial arts stuff is gonna work. You gotta take care of those kids. You know, I worked in
Right.
Con Ed for 30 years, and sometimes you have to. So I was like, all right, Pop, no problem. And I wasn't gonna give up on what I was doing. I just kept doing what I was doing, and got my backup plan, like my father said, at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
So I just
So
never. I just did both. I just didn't want to give up on what I was doing.
that's like that, but you know what? That's like a classic. That's like a classic New York story. Where you do the night classes or
Yeah.
what have you, right? Yeah.
And that's what it was. There'd be times where I'll go class in the morning, and then from there I'll go and teach, and then I'll take a
Yeah.
class, and then afterwards I'm doing homework, and I'm doing all-nighters, and next day,
Right.
again, I still had my children, so I still had to make time for them as well, and so it was a balance of it was figuring out the balance of juggling all these things to still make sure I'm able to do what I love and what I want to do.
So I would imagine, you tell me if I'm right, that experience, and especially the experience of becoming a father in your teenage years, how does that translate into your being instructor, advisor, confidant, counselor, psychologist? Right?
Yeah, I mean,
right? How does that translate?
it just going through what I went through coming up, I got to experience a lot of things as a young father. I got to experience a lot of things as a young instructor. I got all the experiences, whether it was good or bad. Even bad experience. That bad experience is almost a bad experience in life is equivalent to having your hands up and you drop your hands for a second, you get punched in the face. It teaches you to bring your hands back up. So from every experience I've been through in life is really helped me just become a better. I try to be a better teacher. I know I'm not the best person out there, and I'm maybe not the best teacher or anything else, but I do my best to give my all. I do my best to give my 100%, to whatever it is, whether it's somebody asking me for advice or somebody needing support. It's important. It's not only about martial arts. Martial arts, it's of course we do punch and kicks and the stick work and everything else. What I learned from martial arts is like a brotherhood, a community. Whenever you need somebody, you can look to your brother or your sister and say, hey man, I'm having a bad time, I need advice or I need support. You want people to not only support you, when you're down, but also be there to support you when you achieve things. Like, hey, that's a great, awesome, man. I'm glad your business is doing well, or I'm glad you got married, and I'm awesome job you had a kid. It is good as a martial, to be able to be there for each other, not only in martial arts, but as a community, as people. We are people at the end of the day. We're all one people. We all, so it's. I think going through all the experiences has really helped me understand, a lot of different things of how what people may go through,
Yeah. Did that insight just evolve naturally, or did you, in addition to like martial arts study, let's use a broad term, like self-development stuff?
I think when you first start training martial arts, it's all about just the martial arts. And I think at a certain time, as I got older and I started experiencing certain things and seeing things and seeing life more, I now at this point now I'm starting to look more into like just meditation, more stuff on the inside. I'm getting more into like the cultural aspect of martial arts. I remember when Guru Dan used to speak before. When I was younger, I was like, oh man, I want to train and go back to showing, maybe I can get it, maybe have him look at me and see how good I am. Now I sit there and I just look forward to hearing him speak and just absorbing his knowledge.
Yeah.
And I think, in time, what you look for in martial arts will change, and now seeking the knowledge, being humble to always being a student and always learning new things. It's something that I'm really experiencing more now than ever, trying to, and I even added in the Zoom classes on the schedule, we have a guided meditation class.
Really?
Yeah, we have something that we added on. It's a guided meditation class, and the person who teaches it is Ariel Figueroa. And when we spoke about it, he was like, why do you people who are into the spiritual meditation stuff asking me, like, why do you want me to do this?
Yeah.
So
I don't know if people what this is. That's a screenshot of your class schedule.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But this is your current class schedule. Yeah, this is all on Zoom.
That's all online. That's all online. That's all online.
That's freaking amazing.
We even have a class going on like right now. There's a class going on going on right now. People are still
That's amazing.
Still training right now.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, man, these kids really, because I call you guys kids, right?
I appreciate that. It was good. Thank you.
I was like, these kids really, really know what they're doing. But I had another question I got to pop something else up here.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to tell me, I want you to explain this to me. When you roll that door up,
yeah,
you walk right onto the training floor?
Yeah, you walk right onto the mat. That door opens up right into the school. So if when the door opens up, if you step 1 foot in and you're on the mat.
Whoa. You guys must freeze in the winter, huh?
No, actually, in the winter is pretty good. We keep the door closed, so it's warm. People start training. Okay. It's pretty warm. And the summertime, we don't have any AC, but when we open the garage door, it's such a beautiful thing to be able to train. On the out, you get to almost feel like you're training almost on the outside.
Right.
We get the fresh air. People are walking by. You get the breeze.
Okay. So that is the sidewalk, like that's the public sidewalk in front of the door.
Yeah, that's the sidewalk.
Jeez.
Right across the street is the BQE. We got the cars going by. That's right there. You're right on the sidewalk.
That's a hell of a thing. I mean, so how much walk-in traffic do you guys get then?
Well, we have a lot of people walking by. This building right here where we at now, right above it is a private school.
Okay.
So this is the garage of a private school.
Okay.
So we have all the kids all the time who leave class. They walk by us and everything else. We have people drive by all the time because, again, it's a very busy street. It's in a very popular area in Brooklyn now, which is Williamsburg. Williamsburg is very popular now. It's very hip right now. So we have a lot of, people walking by and everything else. And, we make sure we have, we have the graffiti artist. His name is Verse, very amazing graffiti artist.
That's one thing. That's actually why I walked up to that rascal, Anthony Fontana. Did he tell you the story a couple of years ago at the Inasano seminar when he and I met?
No.
Okay. I walked up to him and I go, wait, let me see if I probably don't have it on this one. No, I don't. No, I walked up to him because I think it was his t-shirt or something. I go, hey, you're missing a letter. He goes, what? So then I showed him on my pants, it says UMAA.
Yeah. I think you remember. I remember him telling me that. I think I remember.
Right. So that's how, and then I walked away and I'm thinking, man, he must think I'm the weirdest guy. Right. But it was because of that logo. I was like, man, that's a good looking logo.
Thank you. It took us me and Anthony took us a while to get there. It took us about maybe 10 different tries.
Mm-hmm.
We every year we post every year in our anniversary we post the drawings on the different drawings we had, like handmade drawings, different tries and everything else. It took us a while to get there, and when we saw it, when we found it, we were like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
it.
Tell me the story of how that came to be then. How, like, who came up with the name Unlimited? What's the philosophy behind the name? That kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, it's everything pretty much happened really fast. Everything happened really, really quick. You know, we were. I was teaching at another space, which was a beautiful place. I was teaching at Tribeca. It was a great martial arts school there, but at the time, I needed to move on, and you know, when that time came, me and Anthony, Anthony was my private lesson at the time, and we trained together all the time. We trained together 3 times a week, and from there we became friends. There'll be times where, you know, he'll be having a bad day, and you're like, listen, man, like instead of training, you might be just grab a drink, and we'll go grab a drink, you know, and just talk, you know, and have conversations about the future and everything else.
Yeah.
And he always had a dream about having a martial arts school and doing it in Miami, you know. And I always thought about, oh, that'd be cool too, to do a martial arts school in Miami, and it just kept going back and forth. And when the time came, you know, I was like, you know what? I think it's time for me I think it's time to go. I think it's time to create something. I think we should create something together. And we used to meet a lot at his he has a family restaurant. It's an amazing restaurant called Cafe Napoli. Cafe Napoli is some of the best Italian food you ever have. And we were sitting there, and we just like, it was like maybe 2 a.m, and we're like, yeah, let's just do it, man. Let's just make it happen. Let's just try. What, you know, let's make it happen. You know, and originally we wanted to go to Miami first, but with me, I'm kind of like a single, not say single father, but I had my children, and they were with me.
Yeah.
And at the time they were still in school, so they'd already been through a lot. I didn't want to have to like take them out of school and move them to a whole new place. And that's when we decided to, you know, try in Brooklyn. And then, you know, again, me and Anthony, the way we work, our minds just work so well with each other. Like, you know, it's such a connection, it's such a flow. I would think something, and he would think it, or he would say it. He would say it, and I'll be thinking it. And like the whole process probably took the whole process maybe took 3 months at the most, from saying let's do it to finding somebody to finance it, to finding the space, all within like 2.5 months at the most.
Wow.
And it was just us back and forth with our brains, back and forth, you know. And with the name, you know, I always thought about, you know, for me, when I was always thought about doing a school, I wanted to have somehow something about limitless, or, you know, limitless martial arts, or, you know, it had to be something that there's no limit to what you can do, you know, because there's, in my life personally, that there have been people who told me that I couldn't do this. You know, people tell me that you're not good, you're never gonna do this. You know, you're too dumb, you're too this, you're too that, you're not skilled, you never, you know, you can't speak properly, you don't have proper English, like all this, you know, negativity. People saying you can't do it, you know, and I kept pushing forward, you know. And Anthony's been through the same thing, where he was like, you know, people telling me he couldn't do something, and he just did it, you know. And you see it all the time, where there's people who have a potential to be more than they are, and they let somebody come and say something to them, and it just breaks them down. And they could have been something special, but they let somebody break them down. So we wanted to make sure that being unlimited had to be a part of it. It had to be something that, you know, never put limits on yourself. Of course, you know, like the quote from Sijo Lee, you know, is being limitless. And that was, you know, that was always big in my mind. It was always big in Anthony's mind. And you know, we wanted our students to be unlimited. And that's when we were like, you know what? We want us to be unlimited. It should be unlimited martial arts. You know, and that's what happened. You know, it's our big key is, you know, no matter what you want to do, don't let me stop you. Don't let nobody break you down. You know, and any obstacles in the way, you can go under, you can go over, you can go to the side, or, you know, call one of us. We'll throw you over the wall. You know, we have each other's backs. Is what it was about. You know, so that's where the name Unlimited came from.
I just thought of something, because big Sean Madigan just commented, a fellow New Yorker, and as you were talking, and you said Limitless. You remember the movie that was based in New York, the Bradley Cooper movie, Limitless?
It's not. Oh yes, yep. I do remember that. Yep.
Okay, right. Remember, his secret somewhat was taking a pill.
Yeah.
Right. But that's not what happens at Unlimited. Right.
No.
So how do you convey to people that idea that it's not magic, You can be unlimited, but you got to do the work.
I don't. It's the thing that the key thing to do to make people understand that we are all unlimited is to show them how great they are. That's the first thing. That's the first step. Is to show somebody, look, this is how great you are. That's what you are great. You're great. You're a great martial artist. Whatever you want to be, you are great. You're here. Even if you have a bad day and you didn't do too well, you had a bad day at work and everything else. You are special, and that's very key. So letting people know that no matter what's going on in your life, no matter if you're injured and everything else, you are great. There's nobody who could be better than you. Who can be better than you? Only you. So we have to let our students first believe in themselves. It starts from the inside. Believing in yourself, believing in your heart, believing in your will. It starts inside first. A lot of people think, you're going to keep training hard and you're going to have this big, strong physique and be a deadly martial artist, but then you're going to be weak on the inside. If you build from the inside and make your inside strong, and then you build on the outside, you're going to be a complete martial artist. You're going to have the balance.
Yeah. Well, walk me through then, let's say, because I was talking about this on Wednesday. Walk me through the initial steps of that. If a young adult comes to you and wants to get started, walk me through what happens, like what you just talked about, starting to build them from the inside out. What's the approach at UMA?
It's hard because every person who walks in is different. There's no cookie cutter method to it. Like you have to be intuitive to people's feelings. And if you're intuitive to people's feelings, and when they walk in, you can kind of figure out what they if they need any support in somewhere, and try to like push that and help push them. And at a certain point, as you start pushing somebody, and when they start realizing, oh wow, like I can actually do this, they're on their own. You just gave them wings. They can fly. They can go as far as they want now. It's just a matter of showing them and pushing them a little bit in the direction. But again, everybody is different, so it's hard to kind of like say this is the only way, and it's not. It's different ways of doing it too, and it's also we do have sometimes people walk in and maybe we're not the right space for them. Martial arts, we as martial artists, I think is key that we make sure that people find the right space. You have to have the right space. You have to find the right instructor, and maybe we're not the right space for you. I should, as a martial artist, a fellow martial artist in the community, point you to a direction that might help you. I have sent people to other martial arts schools that I think might work better for them.
Right.
I had no problem doing that. Maybe I'm not the best businessman, but I'd rather push somebody and give them a chance to be great and point them to the right direction.
Is it the same thing with the kids? If it's parents that bring a kid to you?
Yeah, again, with the kids, every child is different, and you have to, with your children and adults, you really have to, children and adults, they're both they're different, and they're both the same. You have to really look past what's they're actually doing. So they might seem like they think they're a know-it-all, but maybe that inside the kid's suffering from some self-esteem issue, and you have to sit there and like, hey, I know you're, you just have to, kind of build on that. If you look at somebody, you can see the there's a weakness somewhere, and if you can just find that weakness, you can help them get strong there, and they'll make them better individuals, whether adults or a child or a child. But it can be, every person's different, every child is different, and it's to be in this field and see the amazing transformations, from different people. I mean, that's why I love doing what I do. I get to watch people become, these. I look up to my students. I look up to them. I look at, I'm like, man, you look how amazing you are. Look how great you are. Look at what you become. Look at what you made yourself into. It's I want to shine the spotlight on them. I want them to know and see that I know they're great. They need to know they're great too. That helps build the inner confidence, and that helps sustain you. If things are going bad or things are going good, you need to have that strong internal bond.
That's interesting. That's interesting. The idea of looking up to your students, because I don't know if that's a very common situation amongst martial art instructors. you know, actually looking up to their students. It makes me wonder what. I mean, this is kind of esoteric, right? But it's like, what role does Jeet Kune Do play? It's like, what are you looking for in life, and what role does Jeet Kune Do play in that pursuit? Does that make sense?
I think it does. I mean, I feel like for me, like for Jeet Kune Do has been more than just martial arts. It's been a way kind of how I just live my life. You know, sometimes something will be devastating, like to me, and instead
Right.
of, you know, if somebody throws you a hard kick and they're very strong, and you try to block it, you'll probably fall backwards or get hurt. Sometimes you got
Yeah.
sometimes something in life comes at you, you got to redirect, you got to tongue saw it, you know, or even you know what happened now, you know, when everything closed down, we closed down on Monday, and on Monday I was devastated and I was down, and you know, I had to evolve and change. Like in Jeet Kune Do, you gotta be able to adapt to your environment. And, you know,
Right.
we threw up the Zoom classes and we had a full schedule on, you know, we were closed on Monday. By Thursday, we had a full schedule, you know. And again, that's all using Jeet Kune Do, being able to adapt into your environment, you know. And that was a tough for us too. It was an experiment to see how far we can push the online classes. And, you know, I think it was cool for myself to push the online class and see how far we can, you know, take the martial arts and what we can do. But it's also amazing to watch, you know, the fellow instructors who teach at UMA and see how they did their classes and how they innovated. And I was always amazed at watching what they did. I'm watching the class and I'm like, no, that's cool. Like, you know, I didn't even think of that. I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
To see how everybody as teaching and they're evolving and innovating.
Yeah.
As the Zoom classes are going on, you're watching these instructors take it to another level, and I'm it's again I look up to them too. I'm like, this is cool. Like, just watch. It's just all this to me is cool. I'm just like I'm a kid in the candy store. I'm just
hey, talking about looking up to people in JKD. I mean, Jeet Kune Do is, you know, it's got a storied history over the 50 years or so that it's been about. How much? Let me ask you this, because this is a topic that came up a little while ago. How much of a Jeet Kune Do nerd are you? Or okay, you have three choices: Jeet Kune Do nerd, Jeet Kune Do fanatic, or a Bruce Lee fanboy.
Wow, that's three choices I got there. Oh, each choice doesn't sound too good for me. I wouldn't say I'm probably a mixture of like I used to be a big Bruce Lee fanboy, and I was into I'm not a full Jeet Kune Do nerd. Like, I don't know everybody's history. I don't know every you know, I kind of big into like kind of following the philosophy and keep adapting myself more and becoming more a better self. You know, using, you know, what I learned from, you know, Jeet Kune Do, you know. So I do, like, I of course love Bruce Lee, you know, and I understand Jeet Kune Do nerd stuff too, but I don't have I have probably a mixture of both.
Okay.
A lot of people have more knowledge than me. I mean, even, you know, Anthony, you know, his knowledge went to another level. Like, he's telling me his terminology, everything he learns, he's absorbing. I'm looking at him like, man, like, you know, I don't know any of that stuff, and you're amazing. You know, it's like, it's just how I am right now. I'm kind of like in that in between area, I guess.
Right. Can you remember if it was a specific, like a watershed moment or so, where your transformation from Jeet Kune Do, the art, into Jeet Kune Do, the philosophy? Like, can you remember if there was like something that happened and you go, oh, this thing is both?
I mean, in life, there were so many experiences that I've had that they're just it became more than the art. It became the philosophy. Because again, while as I was growing up, you know, every time something happened, you know, or I needed advice from my, you know, when I was growing up, I was 15. I was the youngest person in the school. So I, people talk to me and like, and it always brought it back to Jeet Kune Do. Like they're like, oh, and Jeet Kune Do, don't forget, you have to, you do this, but you can do this not only in fighting, you can do it in life, So every time something popped up,
Right.
Since I was young, they always, my peers, the elders in the school, always used Jeet Kune Do philosophy to help guide me,
Right.
as I was coming up.
Yeah, you recently joined. I mean, well, comparatively recently joined the Inasano Instructor Association, right?
Yes, sir. I think 4 years ago.
Okay, all right. So then I guess when you go over to California, you come across a lot of the old timers sometimes, right?
Yeah.
What has that had any impact or any effect on you, like seeing those old guys?
I think going to California and going to like and seeing Guru in his environment and seeing the instructors who've been there for forever has been really been a life changing thing. There are moments in your life where you things just like click,
Right.
And going and I following Guru and seeing Guru, on other places and going to some of the other places, but to see him and at his school. And see the students from all over the world come in, who've been there for so long, and see their skill set and see how much they remember and see how much it was a mind blowing thing to me. It was a very mind blowing thing. My first year there.
Yeah.
I look forward to it every year. I go there and I think it's like every year it's always something new. Like it's just like you might say something or you might see somebody else say something, or you see like
right.
There's guys there. I'm bad with names. There's guys there who are 82 years old and 78 years old. I think they're from progressive martial arts in Queens, and they're like, there's some broadening, moving left, moving right. Doing all this. I'm like, man, like this. You're just seeing all these great martial artists in this one place, and seeing Guru at in his home, because I feel like he's more calm there and he's just more open. And just when you dedicate your time, just be there for like 4 or 5 hours. It's been pretty cool. It's been really pretty cool meeting new people, seeing different people. I think it really opened up a lot of things in my mind for me.
Yeah. What again talking about the fact that Jeet Kune Do has such a storied history. I like to say. Are there did you ever have big questions or curiosities about Jeet Kune Do that you got answered?
I feel like it's hard to get an answer in Jeet Kune Do. I feel like the answer is normally in the journey. The questions that you usually get answered is usually in the journey. You find the answer to the question from what I feel. The journey is the answer. The journey gives you all the answers, all the questions you have, and that's what. And I feel like throughout, whether it's seeing Guru or whether it's seeing somebody else or even having somebody else say something, it's that journey that helps you kind of like, answer some questions that you may have had. The journey really does answer the questions for you.
What about like your own research into JKD or what have you? Have you done anything there?
I mean, I think once we established UMA and I had more time to kind of give myself, I had more time to I had a little more time and freedom to explore. I really I took advantage of it. Again, I was like a kid in the candy store, kid in the toy store. Like we invited different instructors to come to the school and we trained with different instructors. I went to Newbury numerous times and trained with instructors there. With Sifu Luigi and Sifu Alex have been very, very good to me with bringing like Francis Fung, and I recently got to train with Eric Paulson, which I was down in train with forever. It's been like for the past 4 years, I feel like it's since we got to past 3 years since we got to open UMA. I really took my time to really get to go out there and see things and train with different people and get all these different ideas and just meet different people and meet different instructors and always get wild at how much I don't know. I know people always get caught up like I know this, I know that, I know this. I'm like, for me, I'm like, man, I don't know nothing.
Yeah.
Every time I see like a Guru Dan or a Sifu Francis Fong or Eric Paulson, I'm like, I know nothing.
Yeah.
This is amazing to how much skill sets out there, you know, and
Well, yeah.
just, you know, just to be go out there and explore and meet these different people has been so cool to me.
Right. And it is what you said earlier, you know, the idea of remaining a student, even if you have instructor and owner, you know, instructor and school owner responsibilities, right? You still have to remain a student. So
Well,
tell everybody, go ahead.
Just to add on to that, you throughout the week you will see me in classes. I take classes in UMA. I got very lucky, and my friends and my friends are great martial art instructors. You know, my jiu-jitsu coach, Coach Fernando, Muay Thai coach, Paul. All these different instructors, you know, that are there. Guru Kristen, Guru Tim, like all these people who teach at the school who I brought in. I take their classes. So throughout the week, I got lucky enough to where I get to take classes with all my favorite instructors who happen to be my friends.
Right.
So every week I'm in there with the students. I'm sweating with them. And they're like, "Come on, Sifu, you can do it." I'm like, "I'm trying." Like, come on, keep pushing, Steve. I'm like, I'm trying. You know, because I always feel like it's important that I want the students to know too. Like, I'm a student too. I'm here with you. We're in this together. We sweated together. We're going through this together.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I take classes there with these coaches, these amazing coaches who are my friends. You know,
that's another rarity right there. I mean, somebody who has a diminished ego, because again, I'm an instructor, I'm a school owner, I can't be seen as vulnerable, you know, right? So I can't really, which is funny. I remember we were in Atlanta. This is many years ago, and I heard somebody say, this is when Dan Inosanto had first started training in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay, cool.
And I heard somebody say, what? Dan Inosanto put on a white belt and started at the bottom?
He's an inspiring man.
Right? I mean, I think some people get it and some people just do not get it.
I mean, girls are very inspiring. I was actually able to I think last time we were there, I got, you know, I look at Guru and he's the master of so many different martial arts and he's like the top of his class. And I was very lucky to get to watch Guru Dan get his second stripe on his jiu-jitsu belt. So I'm watching there and he gets emotional and he starts, you know, to almost like to cry about it. And in my mind, I'm like, man, this man's so humble that, you know, he's so many different martial arts. He's been doing this for so long and training with every master in the world. And he's still humble and appreciative of getting a stripe on his belt. And that showed me how, as an instructor, how humble we all should be, you know, as instructors. We're always going to be students. If he can be a student now, still, Guru Dan and Santo, same thing for us.
Yeah. It's you're right. He's a unique individual. I'll put it that way. All right. So tell everybody about the class schedule. So you guys have classes, and you mentioned the Muay Thai, you mentioned the Jiu-Jitsu, but you got and I don't know if when you talked about the guided meditation class, if we were live only in our minds or actually live on Facebook. So give me the breakdown of the class schedule, the different classes and what have you.
Right now we teach the stuff that we normally teach in the regular schedule. We have our boxing classes, we have our Muay Thai classes, we have our Jeet Kune Do classes, we have our FMA weapons classes. We started pushing we have our BJJ classes as well. They've been pretty amazing, you know. And then we, you know, since we started pushing these things and everything started actually working, you know, we pushed all these different arts. we started just adding like, you know, just other things. You know, we have people who now that the people were had the feeling of being stuck at home, and you know, this give us an opportunity that, you know, we are not stuck at home. We have the freedom to do anything or go anywhere we want in our minds, basically. So we invited a yoga instructor from Spain, and she teaches yoga for us every week on Wednesday. Sorry, Saturday. She teaches us Saturday. We had a yoga instructor, Rigi, who's in Brooklyn, New York, teaches for us too. And we had another instructor who was teaching gyrokinesis from England. So it was just eye-opening to see that we're able to do all these things, and now we're not limited by where we're at no more. We can train with different people from everywhere and learn all these different things. We learn capoeira.
What's that gyrokinesis? What's that?
Well, I think it's like it's like a form of I think it's a form of Pilates. I'm not 100% about what it is. So people might have to do their research themselves. Okay. But for me, it looks a lot like gyrokinesis. Looks a lot like yoga from a stool position. Like you're sitting down and you're doing the yoga from a sitting position. Okay. But they would have to like look it up themselves to get the better idea. I did the classes; they were pretty cool, and I was like, man, this is interesting. This is different to do. You know, you're on the stool, you move your body and do your yoga from the stool position. It could be something good for people that are in the office all day. They take 10 minutes, they run through the routine, and now their body feels better after that, and they can finish another hour and a half or 2 hours in front of the computer. You know, with that technique. So it's just something that we got opportunity to try, you know, and do. And we had somebody from San Francisco teach us capoeira, because we added capoeira to our schedule last year. So it's really been cool to see everything we're doing, and of course the meditation, you know, having my friend go through a guided meditation for us. Now this year I've been getting really into the spiritual part of martial arts. When you look at the 12 areas of Kali, then it's not the class, and you look through the paper. And there's all the different areas of Kali. Like when you're younger, you're like, oh, cool, sticks. Oh, cool, swords. And you never really make it to that 12 area. To
number 12.
And you're like, yo, is a weapon? You know, you're there. Yeah. You know, and as I'm getting getting older in the training and that, you know, and just maturing more. Yeah. I started looking more at that 12th area more. I'm like, wait a minute, number 12, like, you know, spirituality, meditation, healing. You know, so I've been kind of like looking more into that, and I that's when got my friends started teaching us some guided meditation. Trying to get into like I feel like in a capoeira you get to learn a lot of the culture, like, you know, a lot of the drumming, a lot of the music, you know. So that's kind of a way to kind of like for me to start getting in touch with the culture side and the music side, you know, and maybe start understanding when Guru was talking about the Filipino drumming sets. I'm trying to have a better understanding of what he's saying and how it works. So it controls the army, you know. So now as you start learning capoeira, you start learning that part, and like you can start seeing how important it is. When you're younger, you're like, oh, who wants to learn drums? Who wants to learn this? Who wants to sing songs? Now I'm like, I want to sing, I want to learn the drums, you know, I want to do this. You know, because I feel like that's just making me so much more stronger, making all of us more stronger internally. You know?
Yeah. Hey, listen, you said you're not good with names, but I just saw a comment here from a guy named Gingy Brown.
Yes, sir, Gingy Brown.
So he says that y'all go back 20 years, right?
Yes, sir.
But I know him from he trained with me. He came down from New York and trained with me as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh my God. It is a small world, man.
I'm telling you, we all connected in some way. Ginger's a good dude. I went to his he has a boxing school over there in Miami, and I went there and I was like, man, this place is so cool. Like there's graffiti on the walls. It's a beautiful place, and the energy is awesome. And he was telling me about how he does the DJ sets while people are training. Yeah. You know, and I'm like, man, like, you know,
I know that. Yeah.
That's another inspiration for us when we saw his garage space and the garage door open. That was another inspiration for us to find out a garage space. You know, seeing him, and he's inspiring as well.
I see. Let me ask you this: what's the demographic makeup of the school? Like more kids, more adults, what?
I would say we have more adults, so maybe about 80% adults and maybe 20% kids.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. that was kind of what I had too when I had the school. And are you doing well, yeah, you're doing Zoom classes for the kids as well, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
So the retention rate has been pretty good then, I imagine.
Yeah, so far it's been pretty good. You know, it's the kids come and they train, and
Nice.
it's tough for them because they're stuck at home. So this gives them a chance to release energy, you know, and and I'm sure it makes it easier on the parents after they're done training, because now that they can focus back on their homework, because everybody's stuck at home, everybody's doing homework, not moving their bodies, so they get agitated.
Right.
You see the energy. They're like little energy balls, and they're kind of like built here.
Yeah.
Like, make a move to release the energy so they can go back into, you know, enjoying their day. And it's been fun. Like, you know, we've been trying so many different things with them. We did Kali with them online. We did kickboxing sets. Our capoeira instructor Manuela's been doing capoeira classes with them. They weren't able to do that before. You know, we've been pushing them too, like in the Zoom, like just seeing how much they can do. We did some Kali. They didn't have any sticks, so I kind of grabbed a wooden spoon. And I said, go to the kitchen and grab a wooden spoon or a fork.
So
our Kali stuff with that.
Okay, so ordinarily they don't do Kali in the curriculum?
We do Kali as well. We do
with
Kali
the kids?
Well. Yeah, we do everything we do with the adults. We do with the kids, of course, except for like knife work.
Right.
But we didn't know how they would take to doing Kali through Zoom. So it was
I
like,
see.
You know,
I see. Okay.
Kind of experiment.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you something about the demographics as well, but what's the greatest compliment that you've received as a Jeet Kune Do instructor, would you say?
I don't know. It's I don't know. It's any compliment I get, I kind of, it's almost like I hear it, but I kind of just absorb it, because I appreciate the any compliment so much, because I know it's hard to get compliments from people. Not everybody's giving you a compliment, so I appreciate when somebody gives you one. So when people say something to me, I kind of just absorb it and I appreciate it.
Right.
You know, and people always said that as a Jeet Kune Do instructor, I have patience, and they appreciate my patience. And you know, they say when they come in, they always felt nervous about training, that they couldn't get it, or they weren't going to get it fast enough. And I guess people always say I always have, you know, amazing patience in class. You know, and I had one person that recently tell me, he goes, I never see you mad, I never see you angry. You know, you always have patience with everybody. You know, and my daughter was here at the time, and she looked at me and she smiled, because she probably see me angry. But that's probably the greatest compliment I got is that people appreciating my patience, you know.
Yeah, my senior Michael Marcellus Brown up in North Carolina, he wants to know if you spent any time at Princeton Martial Arts. So I think when we talked about how we met, we were live in our minds, not live on Facebook. So yes, he has spent time at Princeton.
That's why I met Seafood Woods, and I grew dance seminar.
Yeah,
that
was you know, I if it was, because I think I went out to Princeton once or twice. Mm-hmm. So here's the funny thing. This story you don't know. Alex Chan, who you just mentioned, that was the first time he and I met also.
Oh, wow, okay.
He comes up to me and he says, so you're Dwight Woods? I go, yeah. Because I thought you were a white guy.
That's funny.
Yeah. I was like, no, not really. Okay, all right. So now I want you to dig deep, right? I want you to dig deep. Tell me about something that you're not good at.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm not good at anything. I feel like I can always be better at everything. You know, it's like you know.
I wondered how you would answer. Yeah.
There's never something I look at as somebody and say I'm great at this. Mm-hmm. I always feel like whatever it is, I haven't reached a point to be called good or great at. I still need to keep working. I still need to keep pushing. I still need to keep learning.
Okay, I have to interrupt you because you're channeling Bruce Lee right there. You're channeling both Bruce Lee and Dan Inosanto right there.
That's you hear it, and these people inspire you, especially Gordon. Gordon has been a great inspiration, and just seeing how to be how to be a martial artist. You learn how to be you learn martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
People like him, people you learn how to be a martial artist.
Mm-hmm.
It's an honor, it's respect. It's not just you going in there and sweeping and kicking somebody. It's people. If you present yourself a certain way, people will know you're a martial artist just by how respectful you are.
Yeah.
To other people.
Yeah. I get asked that from time to time, like, how can you tell that someone is a martial artist?
Mm-hmm.
And I've always thought very often it's reflected in how they treat people sometimes.
Yeah.
I think. So okay. So this was, remember I told you that I wanted to do a good job with you. So I was doing research on what are the best questions that a good interviewer will ask. Okay. Here's another one. Okay. You ready for this?
I'll do my best. I'm doing my best.
Yeah, I know. I wrote it down. It's one of those that they say what you do is you throw a left field question, right? So on a scale of 1 to 10, right? Get ready for this. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how weird are you?
How weird am I?
Yeah.
I think I'm very weird. I think like I'm like a 9. I'm one of those like I'm very much I guess a misfit. Like I always fit in with. I always was able to like jump into different crowds. Mm-hmm. I was always able to hang out with the nerds, or hang out with in school the gangsters, or hang out with the emo, the people who, the gothic, and I was able to, I was never able to like be part of it, but mm-hmm. I was nerdy enough or weird enough to everybody kind of like, all right, he's okay. He's okay, he's all right. Like I was just weird enough to be down with everybody for a little bit. You know?
Your rascal business partner says you're a 10.
It's being weird is part of the show, I guess, right?
Yeah, but see, the thing is, why would he know, right? Because he's the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why we work well together. We're two weirdos, we're two weirdo misfits, broken toys who just got together and is just trying to, be there and be able to, help everybody who are misfits and weirdos and know that it's cool. It's cool to be a weirdo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, tomorrow when I talk to Chris Kent and Bert Richardson, I actually plan to ask Chris about something that's written in one of his books, where it says that Jeet Kune Do is not for the masses, right? Mm-hmm. But I have always thought in terms of, okay, rather than that, because I think that sets us up in an uphill battle. Mm-hmm. If we go in thinking, what I'm doing, what I have to offer is not for the masses. I've always thought instead, Jeet Kune Do actually is for the misfits.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it definitely makes. I mean, it definitely makes sense to me that the misfits will feel comfortable doing Jeet Kune Do because this was one of those arts, and it attracts and to be a misfit doesn't mean you're a misfit. You see people who look a certain way, but deep down inside, they are still misfits. You see the big, jack, strong-looking guy, but he's still a misfit. You see the guy who do backflips and cartwheels, but he's still a misfit. You see a guy who's a very popular person, but deep down inside, he's still a misfit. And I think Jeet Kune Do is one of those arts where we do attract, a mix of people. Yeah. I never want to say it's not. I think it's. I don't want to limit that. To say something like that. I mean, again, everybody has their opinion, and I think that's definitely a valid opinion. Mm-hmm. I always think that it's for everybody. It's for everybody, and it's for however you wanna give it. However you want to give the art. Even my coach, Coach Fernando, he's a black belt teacher out of UMA. He's an amazing coach, And he told me one time, he goes, like, he started doing Jeet Kune Do first, but then he got into Jiu-Jitsu. He became a black belt, amazing black belt. Right. And he told me one day, he goes, I use Jeet Kune Do philosophy to teach my classes. Because I don't just do what my coach tells me. I go research and I train with different people. You train with different Jeet Kune Do, different Jiu-Jitsu instructors. He watches different videos, and he just gives his interpretation of Jiu-Jitsu. Right. And it's not just, it's more than that. And he's turned it to where when he does Jiu-Jitsu, he's using that same philosophy, and he's painting his own painting. We all forget the artist part of martial arts, and we all can give a different painting, and people might like it, people might not like it, but at the end of the day, we're gonna enjoy what we do. We're gonna enjoy the painting we make. Martial artist is key.
Right. Yes. Yeah. See. Okay. See. So this is what, I don't know if people, but in the hour or so that we've been talking, right? See what you just said there? That artist is key, right? That's deep. That's heavy. Because a lot of people, right? A lot of people do not make that connection. And then the other thing that you said when you were talking about misfits and what have you, right? You said, but inside. Now, I don't know. People might not have been on. We might have been live in our own minds instead of really live. But Sifu Phil told me, everybody, right in the beginning, that it's about building. Tell them what you told me at the beginning. With students, it's about building them from where?
It's building them from the inside. Building them
from the inside out.
From the inside out. It's not about building the body first. It's about building the spirit first. It's building the confidence, building the courage, and showing them how great they are inside. And once they're great on the inside, they will continue moving forward and keep getting better, keep getting stronger. Building the inside is the most important thing. Building that self-esteem.
That's interesting, man. That's interesting, because I think a lot of people start at the physical first.
Yeah, I think it's something that I think we all start there at some point. Yeah, we all wanted to do a cool Bruce Lee kick, or we all wanted to do a flying armbar in Jiu-Jitsu one day. It started there. But I think as you become a teacher, you have to understand what it's really about, and how to really build somebody, and how to really build somebody for themselves. So just being around and having to experience it, and even for myself, realizing that I had points in my body in my time of training that I was really strong and really fit, but very weak on the inside. And eventually, since I was weak on the inside, I broke down. I broke down many times. So as you become an instructor, you realize, okay, it's not about the physical part. It is, but the balance is making sure that on the inside, you make sure you build a person's self-esteem. You make sure that the person knows that they themselves are special. They are a light. We all have lights inside us. We all have a light inside us, and we're all special in our own way. And I think once people realize that, it makes it easier for them to learn martial arts. It makes it easy for them to keep training and keep getting better. And when things go wrong, when things go bad, you're strong on the inside, so you can do it. You can deal with it. If you're weak on the inside, if something goes wrong in your life, something goes wrong in your job, something goes wrong in your martial art training, you didn't get your stripe, you didn't get your belt, you got fired, your girlfriend broke up with you, whatever it is, if you're not strong on the inside to deal with that, you don't have the confidence on the inside to deal with that, you might break. But if you're inside, you're strong, it's easier to build from there.
That right there is why you're as successful as you are.
I wouldn't say successful. I mean, it just.
No, man, I know the good ones when I see them.
Thank you, sir.
I know the good ones when I see them. Listen, so 20 years ago, you were at that stage. Now we're here. 20 years from now, is there a plan? What do you see?
20 years. I'm right now was something I realized, of course, I think it's important to plan ahead. And I really do think it's important to plan ahead. But sometimes you get so caught up in planning ahead, you forget to think in the present. And you forget to build in the present, or think about what's necessary in the present. So right now, this year, I've really been focusing a lot on the present, on now. Like, you know, again, what do I want to do now to what do I want to make better now for myself? Or what do I want to learn now for myself? What do I want to learn, how the students learn, or what do I think they need to learn? Or what, you know, how can I make the school better? Or how can I, you know, try some way to make the community better? You know, ideas to make the community better. It's more about like for me right now, again, it's about the present. Of course, planning ahead is always important, but I feel like, you know, like even my children and the training, everything would whiz by so fast. I really didn't get to enjoy some of the things that happen in life because everything went so fast. I was planning ahead.
Yeah.
Now I want to stop and I want to just look around and just appreciate what I have and see what I can do for myself and how I can do as a human being for other people now to make things better now. You know, and hopefully that will, you know, of course, you know, make the foundation for the future. But I'm really focused on the present right now. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm really focusing on the present.
Got it.
During this crisis, like, you know, it's really put things into perspective.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think is going to be a major difference when everything opens back up?
I think it's going to be. I think people are gonna appreciate being able to just do normal things. Like I know, I appreciate seeing their friends. You know, again, like when we first started the Zoom classes, you know, I think it was only like I think 4 days into it, and when everybody got online, I usually open the class up maybe 10 minutes before we start. So people get on and they say like, "Hey, how's it going? How are you doing?" Even the kids, "Hey, how's it going? How are you doing?" You know, it gives people a chance to connect. So I think when everything opens up again, people are really gonna appreciate that human connection again, appreciate their friends again, appreciate getting back into doing what they love again. You know, together, united together, being able to have that contact again.
Do you know anything about the prospects for your area and reopening, even if it's on a limited basis or anything?
I mean, with New York, everything is still in the air. Right now, they're saying May 15th, but you know, we don't know. We know we're martial arts schools and gyms as part of phase 1 of reopening. You know, so you know, we just have to be ready and prepared when the time comes. Not only just to open up and just start off. We also have to, when we open up, just make sure we are safe and cautious with each other too.
Well, yeah. I mean, at a bare minimum, you got to have a one of those forehead thermometers, you know. For when...
we again, as Jeet Kune Do practitioners, we figured out like right now. Recently, we just we ordered some UMA masks.
I saw that. Yeah, so, that was very cool. That was cool.
We're just trying to think ahead of things we can do to like I don't know, just think ahead. You know, just trying to make sure we intercept any issues that will pop up when we reopen.
Yeah, I saw that. All right, okay, all right. So let's wrap this up. 2 things.
Yes, sir.
1, the best way to get a hold of you if people want to reach out to you. What's the best way?
They can reach out to through the Facebook, the Instagram, anytime in Unlimited Martial Arts on our website. They can reach out to us, you know. So any social media stuff, you know, they can reach out to us through that. So our website, you know, they can Google Unlimited Martial Arts Brooklyn, and we'll pop up, or even Unlimited Martial Arts Miami, and we'll pop up. You know, that's a way they can reach us.
All right, and. Can you think of anybody that you'd like me to bring on to the program?
It's
at some point I'll bring back that rascal Anthony Fontana.
Yeah, okay? That'd be fun. I'm not too sure. There's so many people out there that would be cool. That I'm sure that you probably already thought of already. I'm not sure. I mean, I always enjoyed seeing Eric Paulson, Dan Leon Santos, seeing the group Bullied as well. You know, seeing Anthony was fun too, because he's my buddy. Seeing him getting interviewed. So, you know, I'm pretty much looking forward to whoever you choose. You know, you've been doing a great job so far. So I'm looking forward to see who you choose.
Thanks. I appreciate that. You know, this has been a dream of mine for years. Having a way to just get in touch with all my JKD colleagues you know, and then be able to show them. Because I've said this many, many times before. I think the Jeet Kune Do family is one of the biggest unorganized martial art families in the world. You know, I think if we could measure our numbers, right, I think we would find out that, you know how they talk about, you know, safety in numbers or power in numbers or what have you. I think the JKD clan is probably one of the biggest. You know, it's just not organized. So this is my little part into bring, you know, and I'll say this again. You kids, I am impressed by you kids. You kids are my role model, because just so everybody knows, I asked, you know, Sifu Anthony is the one who says you got to get Sifu Phil on, right? I asked Sifu Phil to come on, and he never once said, okay, what do I have to do? This and this and this. The technology is like, oh yeah, so we're doing Be Live. Okay, I'll be there. And then just so everybody knows, he was on like 10 minutes before I showed up. Right? So you guys are my role models. I love seeing what some of the younger JKD guys are doing, and how they're doing it, and what have you, you know. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for spending time. It was really good to you know, to officially meet you and get to know you a little bit.
It was a pleasure, Sifu Woods. Thank you so much. You know, from that day at Princeton, watching you do Carenza, you know, I've been always wanting to talk to you, meet you, even get to train you with you one day. And it's, you know, again, right now is I'm getting to, you know, meet these people. I met you, and I'm meeting everybody that I always looked up to in the Jeet Kune Do community. Yeah. So right now, you know, I really appreciate this time you gave me, and I really appreciate getting to meet you and talk to you. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure, man. All right. Okay. All right. Well, listen, go do some Friday night cocktail socializing.
Next class is salsa class. We had a dance class. We're doing salsa class now. Every Friday we have salsa class. So right now I'm about to get my salsa dancing on.
All right. Well, when you get down to Miami, that rascal Fontana is going to have a party for you, I'm sure.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Make sure you're there, Steve. Make sure you're there.
All right, man. All right. You take care, okay?
You too. Thank you so much.
All righty. Okay. My pleasure, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, Team Unlimited. Just giving you again some ideas of self-training at home. One of the drills I want you to practice on using a tight, closed space is working on our footwork. Okay, so when you're working on your footwork, you can grab anything from the house and anything you can see. For example, I'm using this stool right here. I'm putting it down in the middle of the room. Okay. Now, one of the things you have to practice when you're working on your footwork is getting in range to do your strikes, and then coming back out of range. So this helps you become usually as a reference, so you can know how far your opponent is and how far you have to step back so your opponent can hit you back. Okay. When you start off getting your fighting stance, you keep the combination simple. Let's say we go into any 3-hit combination. I start at a distance to where the stool was my opponent, and it can't touch me, can make contact. I stay out of range, I keep my hands up. I step into range where I can make contact. I fire my 3 shots or 4 shots, and I come back out. Right, moving around. Again, I step in, I fire my shots, and I come back out. It's working in and out movement. I can use my step and slide to hit, to move in. I can use my push step, push in to hit, come back out. I can use my pendulum step to come in, fire, and pendulum step back out. Again, so in, any shots, back out. Next part of footwork drill, guys, is working on your clocking. Again, using the same stool as our opponent. So again, we're back out of range to when you can't make contact, they can't hit you, you can't hit them. Now we're working clocking around the opponent. So we're going to clock to our right side and move around over here, circling around, okay? Whenever you want, you bridge the gap, get in range, you're going to fire your 4 hits, come back out of range and move the opposite direction. Clocking around your opponent, keeping your left foot pointing to your opponent, step in, fire your shots, come back out, and go the opposite direction or the same direction. Either way is fine. Again, the stool is a reference for your opponent. So you're stepping in, back out of range, going in any direction. Stepping in, back out of range, go in a different direction. If you want to practice on faking your movement, you can step in, fire your shots, come back out and fake to the right and then go to the left. Step in, fire your shots, step out, fake to the left, go to the right.